If you're in the comment section of any part of the internet, I'm sure you've come across the dreaded troll. What if there was a way to confront the trolls, though, not just, in the comment section, but maybe people harassing you on social media or leaving hateful comments or sending you horrible emails? One Swedish TV channel thinks they figured it out with a show translated to hashtag Trollhunters. There's a Swedish word that I cannot pronounce. Pretty much in this show, host Robert Aschberg, who is a famously tough and no-nonsense TV presenter, confronts people who have been harassing others on the internet. And the first episode did very well. People loved it. So they confronted 3 people. One person who launched a hateful and aggressive internet campaign accusing women of lying about rape, which drove her to committing suicide. A man who harassed a journalist who has received many death threats and attacks based on her looks. And a woman who has posted thousands and thousands of racist comments online and threatened a writer and commenter. So, it's, on surface, sounds like sweet, sweet justice. But is it the right move?
It's sort of the last scene of Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, where they just track down everyone who was a dick to them online and then beat them up in their own home. Like, it's sort of...
I don't think anyone's getting beaten up.
No one's actually getting beaten up.
Right.
Because I totally watched that.
Like, what are you doing? Why would you do this?
Right.
Who do you think you are kind of deals. And it's worked for this show, but I don't know if this is the solution to most trolling.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, as much as my first reaction was like, yeah, because, I mean, through Gamergate, I got a lot of death and rape threats. I got doxing threats. I had my site threatened. I had all kinds of threats. So there's definitely that part of me that's like, yeah, screw them all. But ultimately, I don't think it's going to help. What you're doing is now then you're harassing someone back. That's so, like, the same behavior doesn't really help. Calling people out on it, sure. There was that woman who contacted the moms of the guys who were sending her threats, and which was hysterical.
Yeah, that was awesome.
But I also don't know that this is really like sensationalizing them and giving them attention is really the way to go.
The goal to teach people not to be horrible, toxic mutants, or what is the goal of this?
Right.
You can't really
I think the goal is
that.
ratings.
Yeah.
But the other thing is like, it's so they are able to find these trolls because when a lot of my friends have reported death and rape threats online, the cops are very often like, oh, we don't really know what to do with that, or there's not really anything you can do, or, oh, you're being threatened for your job, well, quit it. Like Anita Sarkeesian heard.
Right.
Yeah, so I think probably maybe the best way to confront trolls is to have companies have better ways to report these things.
Yeah.
Like Twitter just recently updated
Twitter
their harassment policy. Well, but they
Twitter
did
doesn't care.
Well,
but they updated their policy a little bit.
On Discuss, I had an online impersonator recently who it wasn't a big deal. He was basically just being a dick and using a copy of my profile and name and photo. And I talked about to Discuss, and they're like, yeah, we don't really police things, but we'll ask them to update, not to impersonate you. And like they took a little action, but a lot of the services do have this idea of, we don't really want to impose on freedom or something. It's like, look, I get that. I get there's a moral thing you don't want to get into, but when you see abuse is clearly happening, or you see someone's impersonating someone else, when you see someone is sending threats, take frickin' action. It's your service.
Yeah, if you wrote it down and mailed it to someone, some of the things that were sent to me online, I mean, I could take that to the cops and say, hey, look at the thing that was sent to my house.
And cops and FBI are slowly adjusting to this.
Starting to.
Yes.
I did have an issue, and then I ended up having a police detective help me out. That's all I want to say about it.
No, sometimes they do. And I mean, like, Twitter did update their policy, but I have someone that impersonated me on Twitter, and no one cared. So, and there's, it's impossibly verified and all of that. So I mean, but as far as the show, like like I said, I think a lot of times this is done to get attention, whether or not it's with your real name. People want to provoke when they're doing this sort of thing. And this is just helping them get attention.
Well, the troll is a magnificent and varied creature. I mean, sometimes you're going to find a true asshole and sadist, but other times it's maybe people who have been marginalized in some way and probably would not react well to being put on camera, and worse things could possibly happen. It's not really an one-size-fits-all kind of deal.
Yeah. See, this is why I really liked the idea of calling someone's mom
Yeah.
And because they're like, I believe a conversation would actually happen in a lot of cases. Like the mom wants to know, why would you think this is okay? And whether she gets an answer or not, like at least you could have a conversation happen. Like if it was more like that, like, hey, let's have this person come on. Why do you feel this way? Why do you think that's okay? Because I think Craig Ferguson brought up a great point that a lot of this is not that we've gotten meaner because the internet happened. It's a lot of us, the internet is so fast. It's so fast to send a tweet and doesn't ask you, are you sure about this tweet? Like, so you sort of have this quick response, knee-jerk response that sometimes people really don't take those 2 seconds to consider what someone else will read or that there's another person, not just a profile picture.
Yeah, I actually had that happen with somebody who said some nasty things to me online, and I rarely confront, but this time I just said, hey, why do you think this? Like, you do know I'm a person, right? And they didn't. They were like, I didn't really think about it. They actually wrote back, like, I'm really sorry, I didn't actually think about it. I'm like, I'm a person. I have feelings.
I had that too. I had like some really hateful comment. It was like a paragraph of a comment on an article I wrote about why it was stupid and why this viewpoint was stupid and stuff. And then an hour later, they add another comment. Now, having read the article,
that always happens.
this author has made me reconsider some stuff. And after that, sent me a couple messages that were extremely apologetic, that they had this knee-jerk reaction to the headline, thought they knew what this was, and reacted.
Well, it's a very complicated issue that will persist and is clearly not black and white. I don't think there's a black and white way to solve the issue of trolling, and I'm pretty sure it isn't through this TV show. But what do you think, audience? Would you watch or participate in this kind of TV show? And what is the answer? Let me know below in the comments, and please be sure to subscribe.